Are you a service-based business owner looking to increase profits to fund your lifestyle? Well, this podcast is for you. We bring you inspirational guests sharing actionable tips to solve many of the struggles you face each and every day. And now, over to your host, Paul Higgins.
Hi, Paul here. Before we get into the show, would you like to make a great first impression on LinkedIn? If so, I have something just for you. When people search for your name on Google, your LinkedIn profile will normally come up first. Before meeting someone for the first time, how often do they view your LinkedIn profile? For many coaches and consultants I begin to work with, their profiles don't do them any justice. I've created a simple solution where you can whip your profile into shape to have your best foot forward when attracting new clients on LinkedIn. Go to blgdownload.com, so that's blgdownload.com to get your 5 killer tips today. Hello to the Build, Live, Give Solo podcast, episode number 284. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you love what you hear, please subscribe. I recommend listening to episode 0.5 first to guide you. If you're a regular, thanks for your support. I love listening to podcasts and always have follow-up questions. If you're the same, go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions and lodge yours, and I promise, that's right, I promise to answer it. Please check out past shows on your favorite platform. Just search Build, Live, Give. A huge shout out to Barbara for their question today about how to win on LinkedIn, and that's why the topic is how to win on LinkedIn. Hey, how about that? Anyway, what you're going to learn is 3 key things. 1 is around your profile, 2 posting, and 3 is prospecting. So I run a community helping each other to gain leads and new clients on LinkedIn. It's about 80 strong. It's around the world. And I really cut my chops having had my transplant, and for the first time in a long time, my health wasn't the center of everything I did. I could actually go back to running my business and gaining new clients. I'll rephrase that. I'd always run my business. I ran it right through thanks to the help of my team and the systems I'd set up, but it really helped me to grow my members. And then what I did was, continue to improve on that. And with 80 people sharing insights, right, we've done a great job. But what I sometimes take for granted is that how much I know. And Barbara, who's asked a question, reminded me on some of the things that I take for granted was new to her. So I thought I'd outline them for you. So we're going to go through once again the profile, the posting, and the prospecting. So number 1 is profile. And I'll just quickly run through these because you can find out more about this at blgdownload.com. That's going to give you a nice PDF with all of this in more detail. Plus we'll have the show notes. But the first is your header, right? Think of your header. So it's that image at the top of your LinkedIn profile. That is a billboard as you drive down the road, right? And, I looked at someone's today and they just had this image and it looked like an Irish street with lots of pubs in it. And it had nothing to do with what they did. And I said, look, would you have that up when you drove past on the road? No. Okay. So make sure that's really important. So, who do you serve? How do you serve? Once again, have a look at my profile. It gives you a bit of an idea. The next is the headline. So I always like to help people work out exactly what I do because sometimes it's very confusing. So I'm a sales mentor. So I've got that really strong at the front, sales mentor. And then I say I help X to do Y through Z. Simple form. You can always elaborate on that a little, but I think that you want to make it easy. Someone hits your profile for 2 minutes. Certainly if they're looking at your profile to say, should I connect with this person or not? It certainly helps them. The next is your contact information. I can't tell you how many people don't have that updated. They still got their personal email address from, 20 years ago, or email, I should say. So, make sure that that's up to date. You want to make it easy for people to find you. The next is the featured section. And I always say 3 key things, and you'll see it in mine. So 1 is your about story, which I get fantastic feedback about mine. The second is a client example of what you do. And then the third is like a post where you've got really great engagement on that post and it's key to your topic. The next is the about section. So the about section, write it as if you're having a conversation for the first time. Thank people for coming on and making it warm and friendly And what you do is keep the detail of your programs or what your services are into the experience section. Okay, so once again, have a look at mine for that. And then the last one is recommendations. Make sure they're current and by your ideal clients, and also make sure you're giving some recommendations as well. But as I said, you can go to blgdownload.com to get some more. So the next is step 2, posting. So we won't have as many steps here, but I'll just quickly run through it. So the first thing is you need to get a certain amount of likes and comments in the first hour. If you don't know what that is, please reach out. But it's so critical that first hour to get traction. And comments are probably worth double the likes as we understand it. The next is an intriguing headline, right? People just flick through their news feed. What's going to get them to actually open it? It's an intriguing headline. The third is them, not you, right? Write to them. Don't say, I did this, I did that. It's all about them. So write to them. Write to your ideal client so that they're actually reading the post. The next is formats. I still think text only works best. Then I think it's a document, a PDF is great, helps with dwell time, which LinkedIn reward. And then I think, if you're going to do photos, I think make sure they're personal photos or something that's not just off a stock image. They don't work as well. And lastly, some videos. Videos is great if you've got a really big following and you want engagement. But if you want more reach, I would recommend not doing a lot of those. Always have a call to action on your post, which is asking them a question. You don't want to sell all the time, but you do want people to comment, which helps the algorithm. And then last one is hashtags. So I always say 3 to 9. And if you're not quite sure what a hashtag now, how many followers it's got, in any post you read, you click on the hashtag, it'll open up and then tell you how many followers. So that's a little tip there. And a couple of misconceptions around posting, right? A lot of people, I hear them say, my ideal client's not viewing my posts. I say, well, look, to be honest, how do you know that? Right? You don't know. Like, let's say 10% of your followers actually read your post. You might get, like, from my case, I get anywhere between 5 and 50,000 views a post. I don't know who is, but what I do know is consistency and awareness builds clients. And I've had clients in the last couple of months that I haven't seen for 10 years, 5 years, and 2 years. All of those are joined up because of my posting, and I had no idea they were viewing it. Also, posts are a validation when someone comes to your profile, right? If they're going to accept or not your connection when you're doing prospecting, which is the next part, they'll look at your profile and they'll look at your post for that validation. Are you an expert? So before we go into prospecting, I'd like to talk to you about Dubb, D-U-B-B. It's an all-in-one sales and marketing video platform that helps you to attract, convert, and retain more happy clients. I use it this week to delegate tasks to my team to increase my future and also, I suppose, current sales time. Why not check it out for yourselves? Go to buildlivegive.com/Dubb. So the next one is step 3, which is the prospecting. And once again, a couple of key points here. So one is quality, not quantity, right? I can't tell you how many outsourced companies I've worked with that I was their client and they just gave me a huge amount of quantity. Yes, we'll give you all these leads, but they weren't my ideal clients. So if you're going to work with someone external or you've got a team member doing the prospecting for you, that is the most important thing. Garbage in, garbage out, as you know. Number 2 is relationship building. So you basically build relationships on LinkedIn. You sell when they're on your list. Okay, so awareness versus selling. I think some people get that mixed up. The third is it's not all about you, it's all about them. So it's no different to what I said about the profile, but just make sure that you're praising them, you're showing that you've looked at their profile and you've been specific to them, and that you're asking questions about them, not you. Number 4 is start with first connections, right? You've probably got lots of first connections you've never even reached out to. Start with that, and it's a great way. We've got some scripts on how to get your first connections to your list so that they can see your content more regularly, because at least you know then exactly who opens and who clicks through. And the last one here is, I think, when you're prospecting, I'd recommend about 50 maximum today to second connections, right? You exhaust your first, you go to your seconds. And as a rough rule of thumb, if you're not getting 30% acceptance rate, and of those 30% that have accepted, about a 20% reply rate, you probably haven't got the right scripts. And as I said, reach out. We've got lots of scripts that we help with. And of course, you're going to write them in your own way, but we give you the foundations. And a couple of misconceptions around prospecting is that it's too crowded, right? I just, I don't think that's the case. And it's only really one misconception, is that it's too crowded. Done right, it still works incredibly well. So there's 3 actions for you today. So one is download the PDF at blgdownload.com and tweak your profile. Create a template for posting and look at some of my posts and other people that you know are getting great results to see and build that. And then start prospecting. Please do. So many people spend so much time on posting. Posting is just a means to an end, okay? It's not the end in itself. You can get all the links in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast, episode number 284, or the app you're listening to. I recommend the Pocket Cast app. Listen to episode 0.5. If you're new, it gives you a great overview. If you want to know more about our community that I've mentioned here, just go to sales, it's called the Sales Machine, but if you can go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/SM. So that's paulhigginsmentoring.com/SM. If you know someone interested in winning on LinkedIn, please share this with them. Remember to ask those follow-up questions, just like Barbara did at paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions. All of these links will be in the show notes. Please take action to build, live, and give.
Thanks for listening to the Build, Live, Give podcast. If you like what you heard, please share it and leave us a review. It would mean the world to us.